Good. So now let's talk about labor histograms. So the same applies that we said earlier. You've got your activities, you've got your duration, you've got your flow or your sequence of activities. And if you draw that in, it's going to look like this. So I'm not going to do this. You're going to have this template. You can do it yourself, but it will look then like this. It's the flow of the activities. Now, something that you will see that we've added into this, which we didn't add it previously, is we now add the resources in the blocks. So we add the resources in the blocks so that we know what we're going to need for that specific time within the project. So before talking about further to that, let's just quickly identify the critical path again. So you will see there is some float over there. So that means I've got float on D. It means D is not on my critical path. No? So, but D is connected to B, and so B and D is not on the critical path. I can actually move them to the side for the duration of 2 weeks. So if I want to then show when my critical path is, I will go and I will do this. That is my critical path over there. It means these activities I cannot play around with. They are fixed in time. So let's just do that, and let's just say that is my critical path now for the project. So you can see that I can move B and C around a bit within the constraints of this to still finish on that time. Good, so now let's take the resource a bit further. I've populated the blocks with my resources, and I've added it up down here to know how much resource I need per week. Don't worry about the accumulated resource, that's just to see in total how much I'm going to need. Okay, so this is my resource that I need per week, total resource. Now this is where the histogram or the labor histograms comes in. You can see in the same scale that we used when we did the Gantt chart over there, I've got now a chart over here that presents on a different level, presents the activities. So over here now we've got not activities like we used to, but in total, the total resource needed. So 0 to 7 is the total resource needed. So let's just plot B for now. You can see I start on 0 and I end on 3, and I need 3 resources to do B from the beginning onwards. So that is why that is capped on 3. So that is B. If I draw A, I need 2 resources per day or per week, and that's why I need it for 2 weeks, and that's why to put that block start on 0, ends on 2. Good. Now what I've done with C is I've broken it up a bit. I've just broken it up, but it's still the same. If you take C there, C starts and there it continues going on. I need 2, I'm starting on 2, and I end on 7. I could have done it over there, but remember this is like playing Tetris, so you'll always put the blocks as low as possible. D, I'm going to need 4 resources. I start on 3 and I end on 5. There's D. And then E, I need 1 resource. I start on 7 and I end on 10. So that's the blocks. So the first thing that you always do when you see this, you go and you fill in or color in the critical path activities. So those are, we said it is B, no it's not B, it's A, it's C, and it's D. So that's why A, C, not D, E is in yellow or in pink over there. So that's my critical. So we know that those activities we cannot play around with for now because we want to keep them constant. We don't want to increase the total project duration. So if you look at this now over here, you can see the maximum amount of people that I will need will be 7, and it will peak here between 3 and 5 days. That's when I need 7 people. But what I can do now, I can actually go and I can move B and D, because remember, B and D is not on my critical path. I can move that up by 2. There's the float. And by moving those 2 up, I'm going to change the picture from this to this. So can you see now, I am still ending with 7 with 7 a resource of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but at least it looks a bit more sort of spread out. It looks a bit more spread out. So what I've done is I have played around with my resources without changing anything seriously, and this is now good for us because this is now the platform to say, but what can I do further? And you're going to see in the next step, what can I do further to lower, to not just make this a bit more constant, but to lower my peak resource that I need on my project. And to sort of just give you a quick sort of just a show of what we can do, maybe we can say that the duration of 10 days is not too important. What we can do is we can move C and E out, we can pop B and D in there, so we're going to have a total maximum resource of 4, which are going to be over there between 5 and 7. And that's sort of the theory behind this.